Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first SpyParty Masters Championship live cast. I am your host, Corvus Mallory, and I'm joined by my co-caster, Lagorb Janine.
Thank you for hosting tonight, Corvus.
And with our desk analyst, Opie Wrights.
Hi, hi.
All right, we have got a live match for you today between Scout and C-Rams, two players who've qualified for the Challengers bracket in SpyParty Masters Championship. They will be competing for a chance to play against Sauerkraut to determine who will advance to the Champions Round Robin for a chance to play in a group with Lazy Bear, Mean York, and Opie Wrights. A truly wonderful prize for them to attain, but their first stop is here live tonight for all of you. We have got these players playing a long set. It is a best of 16. We'll go ahead and take a quick look through the draft. We have a ban on Redwoods from C-Rams and a ban on Aquarium from Scout. That's followed by restricts on Pub and Veranda, doubled Library, doubled Ballroom, and then singled Courtyard, Modern, Veranda, and Gallery. So C-Rams singling into the restrict. But Scout, not interested in playing Pub, it looks like.
Yeah.
Notably, Scout was... Sorry, go ahead, Lagorb.
Notably, we don't have a Tayan in here, which C-Rams was heavily expecting out of Scout.
Yeah, another thing is that the restrict on Pub does appear to come from a lot of Pub play out of Scout in SCL6. However, that was a different Pub setup. That was 3 of 6 in Spectless. This SMC, we have the Snipe Arcade 3 of 7 with high guests and low time. So it's a very different play style of Pub. And it's not one that Scout has gone back to as much.
Yeah, and looking at these venues, we're starting off with Library 5 of 8. So a couple of long games to start off the set, maybe give the players a chance to settle in. And the venues sort of have this swelling motion where they get shorter and faster all the way to Courtyard, and then they get kind of bigger and longer through Modern, Gallery, and Veranda. So there may be a little bit of an arc to the set, which we'll talk about at halftime. But before we get to halftime, we have to get through the first pre-stream. So Opie Wrights, why don't you tell us a little bit about C-Rams?
Right, yeah, well, C-Rams has kind of been a big standout player coming in the past year or so. We had multiple top finishes in both Winter and Summer Cup, and indeed one Golden Gold off the back of some smart item use and strong play. C-Rams has really kind of come out of nowhere, really, and is one of the biggest researchers since we've seen Warning Track in the scene. Warning Track retired a couple years ago. C-Rams has really kind of taken on that mantle in the community as someone who's doing a lot of research into their opponent and just looking to tailor the play to be very specific against them.
We're not moving.
It's a little far out.
We're delaying. We're delaying the statue. We're so close to the statue, no one can come swap.
Oh my goodness. C-Ram's gonna have to move once they realize it. Honestly, this is an insane play. If they don't notice that they're off the pad. Oh, the low light.
We've been low lit. We've been low lit.
C-Ram can hold this as long as they want.
Oh my. So if we're in CC, we're just slightly too close to we're slightly too far away to delay the statue, but by standing there, we make it so that no character will get called. Now we move away. Now the call will happen. It will probably be Kane or Alice, I think, and there goes Alice. And who gets shot?
Banana bread.
Yeah, it had to be Twin. Wow.
What a finish.
So this play is another one of those, it is also emblematic of C-Rams' Spy. Quite slow in a lot of scenarios, however, has a lot of these techie, maybe unexpected plays up his sleeve. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can find any in this particular set against Scout. we were given information before the match that if Taeyeon was picked, he had an idea for some sort of shenanigans on Taeyeon specifically. But as we saw, Taeyeon was not picked, so we'll see if there's anything else for any other venues. And we can move on to Scout now. And Scout doesn't have quite as many high placements as CRAMS does. CRAMS really exploding onto the scene, but has been a pretty solid player for quite a long time here. Has Swiss wins versus myself, as you can see on the screen, which is always a mark of respect in my eyes, surprisingly enough. But joined this event through the SpyParty ranked seed and is as such the lowest seed. Scout does struggle with some nerves in competitive play, which is the main thing I would say that's going to potentially hold them back during this match. However, their sniper is quite solid when they don't start to doubt themselves due to those nerves. And the spy is really aggressive when they're feeling confident. So it really comes down to, is Scout going to face a lot of these nerves during this match, and can they overcome them? Because if they can, I think Scout's going to do very well.
Help Scout here. And we are looking for the swap, it seems. Of course, Obi's not gonna swap, but we really need to shoot her. Are we gonna shoot? We are gonna shoot!
Wow. That's a silent game, too.
So yeah, something I'd like to point out in this particular clip is that Scout was able to kind of sift through a very lighted party to zone in on the spy near the end of the game that was quite active near the end of the game here, and was able to kind of focus in on what was important in that end game. And this is a relative strength of their sniper, that they are going to be able to find spies that are late rushing, which is actually something that CRAM's spy does fairly often. So I do expect there to be some advantage to Scout Sniper against CRAM's spy specifically in this case. It's just all about if they can start to execute on that.
All right, well, those are our two competitors, of course, qualified through different approaches, different play styles, different levels of experience. But before we get into the match, there's one last thing that we have to do, and it is time for our predictions. I'll start, and actually, I feel like there's two kind of push and pull things at play here for me. One is, of course, Scout's level of experience. Scout has been playing considerably longer than CRAM's, has maybe 5 times as many games in total. And on top of that, Scout has probably over the course of this year a more impressive win record. It's a little counterintuitive given CRAM's high-profile wins, but looking at CRAM's history, CRAM's actually has only one competitive win against anyone in SMC. That's a win versus Sauerkraut. And partially this reflects CRAM's path through both Summer and Winter Cup. I'm not going to say that there were easy paths, because there's really no such thing as an easy path to the quarterfinals in 2 consecutive cups, but they did not have to face anyone that actually ended up qualifying for SMC. So I think Scout is probably the stronger player here. If we dump these 2 players into a hitting cup round, I think Scout would have the huge advantage. But I actually pay a lot of respect to CRAM's level of prep. He's shown that he is extremely capable of doing that prep and that it pays off. So despite the fact that I think Scout is the stronger objective player in this matchup, I'm actually going to go ahead and make the prediction for CRAM's here.
I am conflicted on this one. I think it'll be a close affair either way, but given CRAM's admitted kind of hesitancy towards their potential in this match, I think I'm going to lean towards Scout on this one.
I noticed you guys haven't been getting score lines.
9-5.
So
there you go. 9-5. Now you have to.
I've got a 9-4.
9-4. Okay, this is interesting. Then I think this will be pretty close. I'm gonna give it to Scout as well. Kind of, but it's kind of hinging on the fact that we're gonna see Scout being able to tamp down those nerves throughout the set. An early lead for Scout would be huge here. For example, while it could swing big the other way if CRMs starts out, for example, with a 2-0, I think actually the first venue might be a very, very important indicator of how the rest of the set is going to go. And if CRMs can find a 2-0, that might cause nerves to start rumbling for Scout, whereas if Scout can find a 2-0, that's going to just soothe those quite a lot, and it's going to make a big difference, I think.
All right, well, those are your predictions from your on-air talent, and of course, we also have all of your predictions. SMC, we have a prediction sheet, and we took a look and saw what the community thought the result would be here, so let's get those on screen and see what we think. 7% with the win for Scout, 93% with the win for CRAMs. I think probably this is due to just the high-profile placements from CRAMs obviously have been very high-profile, whereas some of the Swiss results are a little bit more hidden in the depths of the wiki pages and the actual Swiss events themselves. So 93 to 7.
I made fun of you guys for not predicting a score. Then I did not predict a score myself, so I'm going to give it to Scout. I'm going to give it to Scout 9-7.
Okay.
It's going to be a close one.
A close one. So I think it's about time for us to get into this match. So thank you, Opie so much for all your help. We'll see you back here at halftime. And it's time now to get into the main game. We have Scout starting off on the spy side playing as Orange Sorry, CRAMs on the sniper side, and we'll start this SMC match in the challengers bracket in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And okay, you're playing Scout, you're playing Orange Sorry on Library, Legorv. So like, what's your game plan here?
I'm not the one who studied Scout here, but CRAMs is. CRAMs did say that they'd be paying particular attention to the twins in this matchup, and as far as character picks go. So a slow character on a big venue might be a bit counterintuitive to CRAMs here.
And we've already green purloined, and we have a green purloin pending in the first 30 seconds of this match. A quick walk away. It was not exactly on camera, but wasn't exactly off camera. Now this is taken. It's behind pillar. You can't see it. Now it's visible. The SDA is the one who took, so that's a low light. And it's a low light on Scout. No, a highlight onto Scout. CRAMs remembers, and this could be devastating. I think Scout is going to have a very hard time surviving this. It is down maybe to us, our seduction target, and I think some of these low lights will be coming off. That leaves it down probably to those two.
Ooh, there's a really nice bug as we exit the blue shelf, crossing the statues there. And CRAMs doesn't seem to have paid too much attention to that.
No, that was a beautiful bug. Orange Sorry, people talk about how good her bugs are, and that's a prime example of it. Even as a highlight, even as one of like 2 highlights left on the map, if you get away with that kind of thing, I mean, that could just be the thing that seals the game for you.
Yeah, and we have 3 minutes here. We can still get a contact in this, and then it'd be tough to survive inspects, I will say.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. And so we have the 2 hardtails, but if we can't inspect, I mean, we can always try to like side statue swap and hope that we block it.
Yeah, I have said it before that CRAMs has a very Kaylee-esque way of narrowing down the party for hardtails, so swap could be difficult to get going here, but that's a lot of attention being paid here. Although CRAMs has narrowed this down to just 2, Smallman, the seduction target, and Orange Sorry, the spy.
And at some point you're thinking your seduction target goes to statues, you go and swap for him, you make it a 50-50 coin flip if CRAMs is blocked from seeing the fade. And I mean, that might just be the best you get here.
Yeah, CRAM's laser has trying to keep these two characters on camera as much as possible.
Shot!
Dead for a side statue is awfully surprising. CRM's, I think, more than capable of mission counting, but maybe just wanted to shoot Sorry anyway. Found somewhat of a reason.
Yeah, and maybe being at least crediting that bug and thinking, look, I don't want to play the next 2 minutes of library having to wonder if Sorry is like snuck a print or something like that. I'm just going to go and take this shot and get on with my life. And it's the correct shot, which means that C-Rams gets the first win on library. Okay, getting into game 2. C-Rams playing as Sick, and Scout looking to stabilize on the sniper side of C-Rams' pick in 3, 2, 1, playing.
Yeah, we've seen C-Rams with a couple of attempts at pillar tech. I think Seek is definitely a character that you can do that with. So I would not be surprised to see another attempt here.
Yeah, we're partially behind pillar. Not a lot, though.
Yeah, we are behind the pillars somewhat, at least for that missed pad, I believe, as we entered conversation, but that's not a lot of progress to be gained for, just 33%. C-Rams will dip out to the leftmost pad in the venue. Let that cool down a little bit.
Yeah, C-Ram's not exactly playing this quick. We're going to go in to get our second flirt, just rejoining the exact same spot in conversation, but library is a big venue with a lot of guests. I don't think it's going to earn us too much heat at this point. And that's 67% flirt done now with 2 white tests. 1 more to go, and that's our only mission progress with 3.5 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, and we have only sparingly been on camera during that entire flirt animation there. So we really could have done with, flirt choosing that just to get some extra progress going. Because now we're at 3 minutes left on the clock and we have no missions done compared to the last game is 3 done.
And of course, I wonder, C-Rams here, this is C-Rams' pick. And we talked in the pre-stream about how C-Rams is a huge proponent of like cheesy plays, interesting strategies. I would not be surprised at all if C-Rams has some kind of set piece on library that he's just waiting to have a chance to execute as we do finish our flirt with a timer flirt.
Yeah, innocent reject there after the ST rejects Toby as well. So a bit of a chain, but it will be resolved there. Scout.
And Scout just, kind of keeping Toby and the Ambassador on screen, checking the statues every now and then just to make sure nothing's going on there. But C-Rams is finally on the move. 2.5 minutes on the clock with 1 mission done, and we are offered at window.
In one sense, it's really nice that the Amba's staying still. That means that no prints are being left here, but it does mean that Scout does have to pay attention to General, who's in standing bug range there.
General will finally leave and head over to books. Some attention being paid, but again, Scout seeming to snipe very methodically. And C-Rams, I could call the spy methodical. I could just call it inactive because we're more than halfway through. And is this a request?
It is, but we just reject it.
Okay.
Would have been a decent green purloin. We, of course, would have had to bank on a green, but Toby's running away.
Down to 1:30, and I guess now the question starts to become, is C-Rams going to try to pull off some kind of reverse rush? And is Scout going to be able to hold all the way down through library? It's not a comfy venue to have to hold on unless you're certain that there hasn't been any transfer.
Yeah, C-Rams may be eyeing up that left pillar again. They do have some tech associated with it, but if Scout's done any research, they should know about that trick that C-Rams has up their sleeve. Into statues, quick pickup. This could be a swap cheese.
It's a red swap
as well.
We're not on camera. We are not seen at that statue at all.
Ooh, and now we're standing in a position to block the swap statue with our head.
Oh no.
Salmon and Seek are particularly tall characters, and in this convo position, really hide that left statue well. So this is definitely a set play from C-Rams, but with 30 seconds left and 3 missions more to do, we're going to have to start rushing here. Pull this one back, even with this clean hardtail.
A bank on a civ shot here, hoping that someone goes to that statue and gets shot for the assumed swap. But we only have 24 seconds left, and if no AIs go to the statue, now the swap is visible, but Scout may not have any suspect to shoot and no reason to shoot with just the swap showing. Now there's the contact, it'll knock off a couple of people. I think it's probably better for Scout if the swap just isn't seen. 8 seconds left, low light's coming off, 6 seconds now. C-Rams has no path to victory unless there's a civ shot. Now there's going to be a time ad. It's a white time ad. It's
Ooh,
not
we're
shot.
not immediately dead. Oh, and the highlight's picking up the swap statue. This could end horribly. The swap is visible. Scout's leaning for it, but
no shot yet. There it is, and that's the civ shot. And C-Rams takes it with the set piece.
Unfortunate that one of the most active characters in an otherwise dead party goes to the swap statue. A bit of a bailout there for C-Rams. 25 seconds was going to be tough to get 2 more missions done, but we did get a green purloin at the waning seconds.
Yeah, and that time ad, we just sneak it by, and Scout is not sufficiently on top of it to eliminate a lot of the party. Comes over here just too late to see the statue's already swapped before Twin picks it up. And as you mentioned, highlight Twin picking up that statue in the time ad it's just really bad luck.
Well, we'll see if C-Rams will hold on to this lead in the library, their chosen venue.
Yep, Scout will be playing it back as tapped, so taking a little bit of a different approach from game 1. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Oh, are we gonna rip this book?
I would not be surprised at all, given we have a fast character.
Yeah.
Just gonna take it out after 1 cycle, doing the bare minimum of etiquette required.
So what do you think? I mean, this has to be a cook and transfer, right, at this point? I mean,
It has to be. You don't take this book out if you're not transferring it.
Alright, we'll start off with a flirt, and it's green, so Scout gonna be happy with that, 51%. We do a little bit of a read. I don't think we're gonna see an animation here. And I'm completely wrong.
Ooh,
it's on camera.
Green. It is, but it's a green, and it's at a place that you wouldn't normally watch for it, at a stage of the game that you wouldn't necessarily watch for it.
Yeah, and Scout gonna put this book back innocently right away. Not gonna waste any time. We still have to do another one of those animations, of course, which will take a while. But C-Ram seeing the innocent return.
Library is one of the better venues for animation microfilm, to be fair, so Scout has plenty of opportunities to take advantage of C-Ram's laser. Unfortunately, Amma and Toby are attracting the laser to the right side. Oh, I really love this play of waiting for the ST to land at a bookshelf and then flirting before walking away. Unfortunately, she landed a bit too far, so we only got 92%.
Scout, 3 out of 3 for green tests so far in this game. It will be offered a drink. We're not going to try for the 4 out of 4. We just walk away from Toby. We're trying to maybe chase down our seduction target, but we land in conversation with the double agent. That's fine, too. And, hey, I mean, we could take a contact fairly soon if we wanted to be aggressive with it. But as you mentioned, C-Ram's no stranger to low-lighting a bunch of the party, and we don't want to give any extra help, I think.
Scout unhappy about something. I think there's a fingerprintable drink bouncing around, and it looks like Smallman just took it.
Our ST is still wandering around with this blue book, and we decide to go for the contact.
Yeah, really good time for contact. Only it looks like 4 lowlights are taken. I think we waited for the twin who was taking the difficult drink to finish that up as well. Into the time ad window, but not in the time ad spot.
But we do the time ad action anyways. That's an extra 45 seconds. We'll provoke a beep and a bug walking by the ambassador. It was not on screen. C-Rams lingers on it.
The hand snapback was ever so slightly visible, but yeah, C-Ram's rotating back, tough to see that one.
This is a very aggressive game from Scout. We have a time ad, we have that wait at bookshelves, now we have a fingerprintable briefcase.
And we have 2.5 minutes to finish this.
Yeah, this is, I mean, if you dump me into a library game in this position, I'd be very happy as Spy.
I'd be very happy to see Amba going to a different bookshelf as well, giving us another print to finish up on.
I wonder if Alice is going to cause us a little bit of trouble here. Maybe it's okay.
She does grab it before Amba puts back his book. So Scout now just needs to dip in there. Could take this briefcase. Might want to wait for someone else to pick it up to avoid the obligation. Alice, in the meantime, will return that book, so it is now difficult. But being a neutralite at this stage of the game, only needing another fingerprint, and the microfilm is difficult still. But Scout's in a good, if not great, position here.
You have to beat the double agent to his book, and it's a shot!
Okay.
Again, C-Ram's shooting at a time I think neither of us expected. And two great bugs, I think it's fair to say, from Scout, that I worry have provoked shots from C-Rams later on in the game.
I don't know what to say. That was not expected. Maybe the instant pickup. Was there an instant pickup of that book?
Of the green book?
Yeah. When we got there.
No, it's before we even started.
Not even.
And I guess just having some idea about the microfilm, some idea about the bug, I mean, adding all that up. But still, that is a wild shot. And that puts C-Rams up 3-0 in this match.
All right, Scout, C-Rams, I think, underestimated themselves in their private message to Opie and I. Coming out strong here on Library and might be able to sweep it here. We'll find out if Scout can hold this down.
Yep, this is going to be an important game. C-Rams playing as Alice in 3, 2, 1, playing. So what do you think? Another set play here from C-Rams on his pick of double library?
Alice is another great choice for pillar plays, so it would not be a surprise in the slightest.
We were kind of...
not going to open up with the time ad, despite our need for it last game, although we did get slightly bailed out without the time ad.
Took a very polite path away from the ambassador there, but original conversations double agent, we do an instant reject from Toby, and now we missed the pad! Or do we miss the pad? I'm not sure. Presumably yes.
I don't know if that's deliberate or not. I would thought if you're going to that position, you want to get the time ad.
But okay, no harm, no foul. Not really easily visible to the sniper. And so, C-Rams, obviously not in a hurry. Not in the previous game, not in this game. But still 3.5 minutes to play.
Yeah, I think we're watching the laser a bit more this game than the previous. But we still have nothing done with over a minute part off the clock. Here's a green time ad earlier on. Like this choice to make up for the lost time.
Yeah, that's very strong. We have Orange Sorry at center statues, has earned a highlight. And I don't know if there's much you can do against this green timeout on Library. It's so hard to be confident with any lowlights.
C-Rams maybe looking to finally get some progress going here as we land with the ST.
Yep, 3.5 minutes left on the clock. That's our first piece of progress, and C-Ram's thinking that's plenty. Not going to go for any purloin. Just take the one flirt. That's totally fine. And there's also a question of just how long C-Rams wants to draw this game out for.
Ooh, landing behind the pillar there. Ooh, the ambassador is just a bit too fast for that bug to take, however. That was a really well executed stomp behind pillar, and it, I think, went completely under the radar for Scout.
Banana bread.
BB and split here, but it does not seem that it's rewarded from Scout.
No, it will not be. And another thing that's so difficult to reward on Library, and that means that we are up to 68% flirt, 1 contact done, and just under 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, Orange Sorry had a bit of a strange stop into this conversation here. It looked like it caught Scout's eye, but it's fairly AI-like if they're on top of it.
Toby keeps coming by to pester us, and, you know, at some point, you want to stop rejecting, but let's see if we take this opportunity.
Yeah.
Another reject.
That's one thing I'm noticing is that CRMs tends to reject a lot of drinks, so something that Scout could pick up on.
We're still left in this conversation with just 2 minutes on the clock. No obvious mission progress available here. And of course, there's that Civ shot in the back of Scout's mind, knowing that CRAMS is probably up to something. It can make the mental decision of when to shoot just like that much more annoying.
Yeah, and CRAM was just idling in this spot. I would not be surprised to see a dip into the time ad spot as we attempted earlier, and just maybe spam off a few time ads.
So maybe
no talking conversation. We're lining it up. Scout had their laser on this momentarily, but may not be looking for it.
You maybe rejected 4 or 5 drinks so far in this game. CRM's just not that thirsty, and not that thirsty for mission progress either. We haven't made any, I think, in maybe the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, it looks like we're eyeing up the window again. Maybe we're going to add 2 minutes back onto the clock, but Amba here will drag in some attention.
This return from Wheels is not going to feel good. Luckily, Wheels had a drink in left hand, which protected that bug a little bit. And now we take the bug, and it's a beautiful one.
Yeah, we're almost invisible behind Twin here anyway. So Scout might not be aware of that potential even.
Gorgeous bug. And now if you're CRAMs, all of a sudden that opportunity has made a mission win possible. But you still have a lot of ground to cover in, what, 37 seconds?
Yeah, we are beyond the 4:45 starting time for Library here. That time ad was crucial, as we're just now hitting 30 seconds for the first time.
I think Scout is going to be very aware of potential time ads here with the beeps going. And now the green purloin is pending. That reject is definitely seen on screen. Of course, it's like our 5th or 6th. But the question now becomes, where is Toby headed, and what is CRM's going to do in the meantime? Because this purloin is not enough to hang the clock. We have to twitch on this pad. The list is taken. 5 seconds left, and the shot comes off onto CRM's Scout. Keeps it under control.
Yeah, CRMs was trying to nab that book out of the shelf as soon as it appeared, but I think triggered it too soon and then had to readjust to attempt to pick it up again, and I think was beyond the point where they could have dragged it over to green anyway. But Scout was on top of it. Found the attempted transfer cheese in the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, CRM's not knowing the exact timing there, and Scout having none of it. And, I mean, okay, holding the set 3-1 on your opponent's double, I mean, if you can answer back on your own, then you're even going into halftime.
Absolutely, and we'll get into the second quarter of the match here.
Yeah.
On to Scout's doubled pick.
As a reminder, it is best of 16, so first to 9. And of course, if it's 8-8, if it's looking like it'll get close, we'll go over the overtime rules when we get there. But let's start off with Scout playing as Disney on their first game of Ballroom. CRAM's on the sniper side trying to keep the lead. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Not taking that flirt.
Yeah, I would suggest typically to, be aggressive on Spy. There's a double walking bug. Take a look at that from
be
sniper
aggressive.
POV. Yeah, being aggressive is typically a great strategy, but seems like CRAMS isn't missing anything right now.
I feel feel like this is Scout's third spy game and Scout's third really good bug. And I'm worried it's going to turn into Scout's like third time being shot for just somehow being credited with a really good bug.
Yeah, we'll see how CRAMs hold up as we get further into this set. It is a longer one, as you mentioned. Scout could also just be warming into things. ST at Windows, she's got a book, which will keep her there long enough for us to get that flirt. Otherwise, it was looking a bit dicey on timing.
2 minutes 20 left on Ballroom. We get into a conversation with the double agent. Conversations are, I mean, this one's pretty full, but otherwise there are maybe 4 people out, 5 people out, and it looks like Scout's not convinced this is the right time.
Yeah, I like this decision. Maybe we wait for contact last. And, ooh, 99%'s not a great number to see here. Although we have 2 minutes left, that is plenty of time. You'd much prefer to be done and out of the way. Into statues, now we're going to pick up the highlight, presumably. We'll see if we survive the contact later on. I think that's the path of least resistance that Scout will take.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a bug that you think is clean, and you know, you probably had the third bug in this set that you think is clean, you're just going to inspect and contact and dare CRAMs to take that shot. We're going to flirt first. Minute 22 left here. Scout unhappy about something, maybe hoping the double agent was going to join us. That would have been nice. We could purloin for a silent game, but look at all this laser tension. No chance Scout's going to go for that. Instead, just finish this flirt.
We didn't finish inspects, by the way, so Scout might have been upset about ambling the print at the back statues, wanting to avoid any potential print suspicion.
Yeah, that's awkward. I think you go back to the exact same statue, right? You go right back to center. Yep, that's exactly what Scout does. Finish off these inspects, and then just hope double agent is in conversation in the last 30 seconds so you can take that contact.
Green swap will be the choice of finish here. And against CRAMs, I'm not sure about this. CRAMs has been on point. Double agent's out of conversation though, so that might influence the decision here. Just wants to get this done as soon as possible. Here it comes. Queen's picking up the statue.
Swap happens.
It happens. CRAM starts to rotate though.
We're behind pillar.
And Queen 2 cycles. Queen is finishing inspects here too. And Queen will take the lead for that swap.
Yeah, nice play from Scout, being a little bit disciplined there at the end and thinking, look, the double agent, I think you nailed it here. Double agent is out of conversation, and in fact is about, well, double agent is in conversation here. Now is going to go pick up a briefcase after this conversation, after this pad stay. And Scout, being very aware of that possibility with 33 seconds left, decides not to go back to statues for a third time to get the swap. Just going to do it and brings the set back all the way from 3-0 to 3-2.
Yeah, that's exactly what Scout needed here. Maybe get CRAMs a bit uncomfortable on that sniper side. These shots have been correct, but they've borderline been a bit jumpy. We don't know how on top of Scout CRAMs has been, but these are like instant shots when a character does something. So if CRAMs is just like not getting lucky, but is just biting on a single opportunity, that could come back to bite them later.
All right, well, let's see how CRAMs handles the spy side, and it's going to be playing as Boots. Scout looking to even up this set in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Close to the ambassador. Do we go for the bug? No, we do not. It's going to be straight into green bookcase, actually. There's a lot of noise. You could take this book.
Yeah, taking out the book there, as you said. A lot of attention paid to the ambassador at the left painting to start off. And we're kind of behind pillar here.
Of course we are.
I wouldn't mind trying to get this book secretly to the left side of the venue just to sow doubt in its origin. Because if you see someone with a book on Ballroom, typically it came from the side that they're next to already. Standing bug there from, I think, like the second best standing bug character. And with a couple people in front and the pillar, that is going to look pretty clean for CRAMs.
Yeah, no visibility really whatsoever on the sniper cam. There's the bug from Spy. Looks great.
Yeah, do we want to even chance this book now? I think is what should be running through CRAM's mind. Another no talk in a front-facing conversation with a double agent, so that's straight up hard tell, but not picked up on.
Yeah, not clear that Scott would be looking for that specifically. A little bit of a weird pad miss thing from CRAM's, possibly related to the briefcase there. And we're alone in this conversation.
Ooh, bug path. Hopefully avoiding credit there from Scout. CRAM's own sake. Maybe we wanted to miss that pad to try to microfilm out of convo, but nobody else was in there, so opportunity didn't work out. We're waiting for ST to get a move on. As the clock ticks down, but CRAM's, I think, is more than comfortable working with low time.
And another no talk here. CRAM's with this book, and 80 seconds left. Has just been bouncing around the venue, but not making really any mission progress.
We chased the ST to windows, but he had already been there for so long, there was no way that was going to take. We're taking a white time ad. I think Scout's looking for Purloin in the meantime, so good cover on it. And now we have a decision to make. Do we want to get this flirt, or do we want to keep this book as a potential microfilm? And it looks like that decision a little bit ahead has been made for us. We're going for the flirt.
Yeah, we chased flirt to paintings and immediately left and came to this bookshelf. CRAM's thinking, okay, enough is enough. I want this flirt. I'm willing to give up the microfilm. In goes the book. We have the bug anyways. And CRAM's, kind of in the same position that Scout was in previous game, just with a little bit less time.
These conversations are very full, and one of the SDAs is out of conversation, so Scout could reasonably put some suspicion on Pearls as the DA here. Another animation break as we exit conversation. Those CRAMs not paying too much care to their etiquette here, but perhaps knowing that Scout isn't likely to notice it.
Another break, as you say, out of conversation. 50 seconds left. As we go into back center statues, we could finish everything right here, right now. Boots going for one inspect. It will be white. Second inspect. It will be green. Third inspect. Green again. Do we go for the swap? No. Down goes the statue. And here comes the highlight. But with no suspicion for the bug, I think if we get in for contact, it's going to be pretty clean for us. Oh!
Zeke provided good cover for that. The idol should confirm to Scout that was not a bug. Could have finished with the same combination that CRAM's did in the previous, or Scout finished with in the previous game. But Green BB, this is the moment of truth. That
we want to shoot.
Bug. Hold up.
And no shot comes off. CRAM gets away with it in a game that maybe lacked something in its mechanical execution, made up for it with that early bug that wasn't seen. That standing bug was just exactly what we needed, and that's enough for CRAMs to keep the lead 4-2.
Yeah, trading Spy wins here on Ballroom. Not what Scout wanted, but it's going to have to try to pull it back again.
Yeah, and I think, on some of these setups, most of these setups have been slightly adjusted in terms of the sniper difficulty has been ranked up a little bit. So players also have to kind of get out of their mind of thinking, hey, I need to lock down every single sniper, because for some of these setups that may just not be viable. And it will be General now. Scout on the Spy side, again, trying to bring the set back as we go into halftime. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
General, a solid I need a Spy win choice if you need a clean bug. Starting out with a green flirt at the blue shelf in a very crowded position. This is a very strong flirt pair if you're looking for it.
We do not take the book away, so we won't be seeing probably any transfer here as our ST bounces off the Ambassador. Queen.
Unfortunately, into the briefcase. That means we can't flirt with her for the time being, but it does mean that she's a bit more active.
2 minutes 46 now on the clock, and as you mentioned, some of CRM's shots have seemed a little bit jumpy, and so if you have an active AI, especially your ST, I mean, that may not be the end of the world for Scout if she does something to provoke CRM's Spidey sense.
Ooh, we could have taken a reverse bug there with the with the circumstantial pillar cover, but Scout was unlikely to be able to predict that.
Yeah, that would have been pretty nice, but instead we'll join conversation with our seduction target, try to pick up a 2 flirt with just over 2 minutes left, and it will happen. Scout's green rate to the moon here. That's going to be 1 mission done, and Toby's nearby. I expect we might take this Purloin.
Yeah, I think we just had a reject from the SDA, so this chain's a bit worse than Scout imagines it to be. And it will be taken right after. I'm zooming in, double zoomed in, but the fade's not visible.
I'm not even sure if the list is visible. We're still looking for it.
Ooh, we got a bug in the meantime.
That's amazing.
Scout taking advantage of the Purloin being noticed to perfection. Now we're hoping the double agent will join conversation here. Both twins of the SDA. One of the more difficult situations to actually identify the correct DA.
And I mean here...
Ooh, and compared to that library game, there are no lowlights taken for this Purloin. So that means that CRM is either on top of it completely or completely off of it. We see highlights here, though.
Yeah, we see highlights, and we're one of them. Now, I think the bug is probably clean, but I've said that on every single one of Scout's spy games so far in this set, and it hasn't stopped the shots. So
we need Pearls in. Scout needs to be aware that Pearls is the taker here.
Yeah, I think they certainly are.
Although, the other twin is also someone we want to keep in for this, because he rejected beforehand. And even though that twin is the SDA, that will give extra people contact. And I think the reason we don't see lowlights here is because Serums maybe isn't confident in somebody else being in this chain. Just knows about General and Pearls for sure.
There's the
contact with Pearls out.
It doesn't.
Well,
Serums finds the shot.
That's unfortunate there. I think Scout banking on the fact that Twin was in that chain, but Pearls wasn't.
Yeah, and a little bit of just, I want to say bad luck here, just in terms of getting people in at the end. We didn't have as much time maybe as we would have liked, but Pearls going to statues really didn't help very much, considering that she didn't go to center statues. And Scout has to be wondering, like, how good a bug do I have to do to win a spy game?
Yeah, I think it's these other hardtails that are getting Scout caught, although that library fingerprint game certainly doesn't add up to that line of thought.
All right, we go into the last game of the first half. It's going to be C-Rams on the spy side as Kane, Scout, trying to keep the set under control on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and I think Scout needs this, not only for the scoreline, but for the morale of it. I think 6-2 is a lot harder to come back from than 5-3.
Alright, well, if Scout's been paying attention to some of these replays, they probably know that C-Rams is going to be playing this a little bit slow. So, with 3 minutes on the clock and no progress whatsoever so far, C-Rams playing true to form. We actually get mission progress before the clock turns to 2, so a little bit of speedy start from C-Rams.
It is a cross-conversation flirt. It isn't the worst cross-conversation flirt. It is a 26%. Not too bad. Killing some time at windows. Maybe we're waiting for this briefcase. Perhaps not, as we step in for a closer flirt this time. And that's 2 flirts in the first minute. How's that for a change of pace?
It's definitely a change, and I think C-Rams is right to try to change things up here at the very last game of the top half. It's the kind of mix-up you like to see it, and now we go for the briefcase. It's difficult. We haven't seen C-Rams attempt one of these before.
Well, C-Rams is 1 for 1 on Difficult Prince. As we hit that one, we decide that there isn't room to return to this ambassador. which I'm pretty sure that there is. People will, I think, definitely squeeze behind there. And we did walk for that, so a couple of things to pick up on. But I think Scout paying attention elsewhere to more mission progress as C-Rams maybe is chasing down this last flirt.
We go into bookshelves
Very
with our
active
ST,
to get
so
this done.
that'll be flirt done with 1.5 minutes on the clock. I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of transfer attempt, but it's a little late for animation. No, C-Rams doesn't seem interested.
And believing a print at blue, which would have been a nice finish with Microhome and Prince. But killing more time, which we don't necessarily have to spend.
And I wonder here if you're Scout, like, you're just thinking, C-Rams has never once finished on time. I'm just going to hard camp time ad and wait for C-Rams to time out.
Banana bread.
Contact is only real for 3, and there are quite a few lowlights here. A reject will follow it up as well. Whenever I did trivia, I found that, like, sometimes, like, 60% of the time when a contact comes off, Toby's behind the spy. Something crazy.
Well, we'll go for our first
C-Rams,
inspect.
it's certainly not bad shout.
I mean, inspecting here almost seems ridiculous with how little time we have.
And was leaving a printable statue, but I don't know if he'll even put it down in time. We're setting up nearby. C-Rams has been taking lots of short setup paths. In this game in particular, but throughout the entire set. There's not enough time for to do this. We need a time ad. Or bug.
We're just going to time out. C-Rams commits.
Well, Scout's patience will pay off for once, and C-Rams will, in fact, not rush the finish.
Yeah, and that means that
It's
Scout...
a close first half.
Yeah, kept this under control, honestly. 5-3, I think, like you mentioned, much, much easier to come back from than 6-2. 6-2 just sounds like your opponent has 3 times as many points as you. 5-3 just sounds like, oh, they're up 1 game, I just have to break 1 serve.
Exactly. Yeah, the traded spy wins on Ballroom was a great opportunity for Scout to get ahead, but C-Rams continue striking back.
All right, well, that was the top half of our set. As a reminder, this is 1st to 9. We're going to bring you the next set of games. Before we do, let's throw it back to Opie Wrights on the analyst desk. Opie, talk us through what we just saw.
Yeah, this is actually a really interesting development because we do see C-Rams falling back into very classical C-Ram spy play. We saw the Seek play on Library. We saw a relatively slow spy, including that timeout that just there at the end. But what I'd like to highlight here is the strength we see from C-Ram's sniper as we go into our highlight clip here. And this is that really, really nice shot on Ballroom. Bug was completely off screen after this contact, and after the Purloin, rather, and despite that, when this contact comes off, C-Rams is able to make that shot happen, and it speaks to a very wide attention, right? A lot of snipers have a struggle with attention onto things that they do not directly see, and in this case, C-Rams was able to take that shot regardless. However, as you two both noted during the cast, it can be perceived as a little jumpy, so there might be some room for Scout to try to make a frame game happen later on in the set. Now, one thing I would also like to point out is Scout's nerves have been holding, which is, down 0-3 to start this set has, kept it close for this entire time, held a critical game on Ballroom against the timeout. I think if the nerves were starting to fray at this point in the set, you probably would have seen a Civ shot for that particular game. So it's a good sign for Scout going forward, but still has some work to do to come back in this set.
Okay, so for the bottom half of our set, we have singled Courtyard. That's Courtyard 3 of 7, Moderne, Veranda, and Gallery. Now we've seen some excellent bugs from Scout. I think those will serve very well on a lot of these venues. Courtyard maybe being the one where it would have to be something exploiting the attention. CRAMs, I think many of these venues are very unfriendly to slow pacing, in particular Gallery and Moderne. And so I'm hoping that we see a little bit of a change up from CRAMs' Spy, especially on Scout's picks.
Yeah, that would seem to be pretty necessary. We have seen CRAMs do one of his infamous swap pending delays on Gallery by standing close to the statue, not actually on a gallery pad, but who actually knows where those gallery pads are anyways, right? There are so many of them. So we might see that happen on Gallery, but we'll have to just wait and see.
All right, thanks so much, Opie Wright. So we're going to get back to the game, take you through this next set of venues. It will start with a spy game from Scout on Courtyard 3 of 7. Good chance to try to exploit a jumpy sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing.
Yeah, I know Scout's played quite a bit with Opie, and this is where Opie's playstyle, and if Scout has picked up anything, really flourishes. It's just rushing with low amounts of time. I do like that we have the extra 15 seconds over the out-of-the-box Snipercade Courtyard setup.
Yeah, give you just a little bit more chance to have a greater number of AIs quote finish, and force you to really pay attention to if they're just actually finished or if they're just in for inspects and BB.
ST teases us by walking through conversation. We're not quite in range for this standing bug, unfortunately, but maybe with a good laser rotation, Scout could find a moment to twitch over, but CRAMs, I think, is diligent enough to guard this.
Yeah, especially with Toby
I
here,
wouldn't
there's
mind
just no reason to look elsewhere.
I wouldn't mind us getting out of here, because we are visibly in a close range to the Ambassador, but we're not actually close enough.
Scout ends up joining back with our selection target. This is close enough for a 2-flirt if we take it.
Banana bread.
It's a real contact as well, with a lot of full conversations.
3 highlights. 3 highlights in for real BB.
That's brutal. Your CRAM's looking
Darren
at
was
like,
just
what have I
highlighting for-
done to deserve this?
And there was nobody out for that contact either. That was really solid. Now we're in for inspects too.
We're in
So we're
for
gonna
one.
go for the jugular. Off screen too.
Highlight.
A highlight, but a highlight is not a shot.
I think it's the strength of those green tests from Scout. Definitely been drilling them, I think, over the last year and a half, and it shows. And that's going to be a 2-flirt win on Courtyard 3 of 7. Hey, Legorb, you love to see it.
Yeah, I love to see it. 5 green game on Courtyard.
Yeah.
Really easy to shoot for.
This contact, though, very, very good. You know, we have a couple of people that are technically out, but they're so close to not being out. Like, nobody's just out in the open. Yes, Queen's taking a drink, but, like, it's so hard to take any of those lowlights while you're paying proper attention to everything else. And it, with so many highlights wandering around, I feel like it raises the bar for you to actually take a shot, which prevents the shout onto Scout from CRAMs.
Yeah, and perhaps Scout's previous mission wins, maybe were the jumpy shots from CRAMs playing into that and forcing them to hold a bit longer than they should have, not shooting teal there.
All right, well, that's going to be 5-4 now from Scout. Now onto the sniper side of CRAMs' pick of Courtyard. CRAMs on the spy side as red dress. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
This is the real test. CRAMs has been time adding a lot, and Snipercade Courtyard is certainly a venue where time adding is valuable. But starting early and often is also quite good. Early green flirt as well for CRAMs.
Yeah, CRAMs, I think, has picked up the pace a little bit, maybe in the last ballroom game or two. That could be valuable for us here. Still plenty of time to get all this done. Chain resets, and we have a drink in hand. So CRAM's not looking for a purloin just yet. So our seduction target does walk away to briefcase. So,
yeah, and as far as I'm aware, this is the first drink we've had in hand this match for CRAMs. Lots of rejects, and I think that's the first one we've started with.
just under 2 minutes now on the clock. We go to conversation with the double agent and a cross conversation. Unfortunately, former Suction Target.
I don't think this can be close enough.
No, I don't think so. We should have taken that other spot maybe. But here comes a white contact. We'll knock out one statue goer.
Yeah, but only one. And one tentative low light there. Scout. Or fake BB.
Yeah, it's brought back up. We do take the cross conversation flirt, and it is a green, so that's 91%. We bail out through conversation, take a weird path into statues, and Scout's definitely seen us there at statues, so there's no chance for us to kind of like cheese swap this. It almost looks like the cheese swap's being baited, but okay, the highlight comes
I think Scout maybe caught a glimpse of that and is really wanting to shoot this. Maybe checking for swap now, but will Scout be able to shoot for just one more flirt? With that walkthrough combo, if that was seen at all, that could certainly add the suspicion necessary to take a shot for the soft tilt finish.
Yeah, and C-Rams now has plenty of time. Just needs one more flirt from anywhere.
We're being kept on camera. Scout rotates around to check on Red Dress in that empty conversation. So as soon as C-Rams gets into this conversation, we're off screen for the time being.
We're not being kept on camera, and now we're talking.
Stop talk.
There's just not going to be a shot here.
I think C-Rams gets away with this one because we're off screen for too long.
I think you're right.
So even if Scout was ready for that, just C-Rams found the window of opportunity and finishes under the gun.
Yeah, there's just too much focus being dragged away here by Ambassador in this super crowded conversation. And Toby on the side of the map as well. It's just hard to see us walk back into conversation, take this exact same flirt that we took with General, and that is Spy's splitting courtyard, and C-Rams holding on to the lead in this set.
Yeah, inching closer and closer to the 9 games needed for match point.
And now we
I guess 8 games for match point.
Going into Modern, Scout now on the Spy side of their pick, playing as Boots in 3, 2, 1, playing.
I feel like we've seen a bit of Boots tonight.
Yeah, we actually saw C-Rams play it on Ballroom. Now Scout getting a try. And going into our Seduction target, who is Orange Sari on Modern. How about that?
It's not too bad. Pearls, despite Pearls and Sari being a very similar speed, I'm more okay with Orange Dress just because she's a good spy on top of it.
Fair enough. Well, we have our delegate. We're going to take it. Are we going to get it?
I like this play. It's aggressive. We do hit the 2 flirt.
Sure. Flirt done.
Yeah, this is a very parable, but I don't know if C-Rams is necessarily paying attention to that.
Well, we know C-Rams is paying attention to something that's provoking these shots. I'm not sure we've quite figured out what it is. But okay, 3 minutes 15 on Modern. You have to do 3 missions, and Flirt's not one of them. You can start setting up for whatever hardtail it is you plan to do.
Yeah, speaking of setting up, I think we wanted that briefcase to be set down by the Ambassador, but forced out a bit too soon. And it's the double agent, and we've got 3 minutes left, so I don't know if we want to take this one so early.
Looks like we will.
And the end of red.
And the double agent leaves!
No!
Double agent earns a low light for being out of conversation during the BB.
Yeah, unfortunately, or fortunately for Scout, there weren't that many lowlights given up. So the effect of lowlights times time doesn't really matter too much here, but Scout will need to contact again just to get that credit.
Yeah, second contact, not necessarily so bad if you can get a second good one. Time is going to start ticking down. We do take this blue book out, and I'm not sure that there's that much laser attention being paid to it, although I'm not sure what the laser attention is being paid to. Nobody at bar, Ambassador not under threat, so not great timing.
Yeah, Modern is one of the venues where you can just sit back and watch everything because it's so unoccluded. I believe a print at red could be a potential avenue for Scout.
Yeah, we're still carrying this book around. 100 seconds left. Double agent comes with us. Scout doesn't want this contact, but may not have much of a choice.
Yeah, since that contact, we've kind of burned just over a minute off the clock. Certainly has thrown a wrench in their works.
Another white contact. Here it comes. Hopefully the DA doesn't bail on us
Banana
again,
bread.
and she will not. So that's contact done.
6. 4 of which are taken. We're walking alongside the ambassador. And CRAM's laser indicates to me that they've at least seen that path. Ooh, there's a bug.
Just lining up the shot. There it is.
If we get that bug on the first try and we are able to slam that book, there is a chance that we're able to dance at the green bookshelf, but yeah, that's a tough one to escape for Scout.
Yeah, the arm just comes on this side of the ambassador. You really need the arm on that side of the ambassador, unfortunately. Not good enough, and that's going to be... Even that first bug, I think maybe you just don't take it. You try to take the second one, which is much cleaner. Either way, CRAMS finds the shot onto Scout, who I think has bugged every single spy game except for that courtyard game.
Yeah, CRAMS might be catching on, or maybe caught on very early to these bugs, and is paying particular attention to them.
Alright, well, CRAMS now on the spy side playing as Disney. On Modern, Scout still really looking for this sniper win to keep things under control. CRAM spying to get to match point in 3, 2, 1, playing.
Yeah, and we might see a 9-4 as I predicted, but it will be, or could be, in the other direction.
Well, CRAM's just idle breaking out of that conversation, I think, just way out in front with no cover, but a lot going on in the back, so it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that Scout has noticed. CRAM's has been doing that a lot, and could fall prey if he advances an SMC later on from snipers that are on the lookout for that kind of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing, especially with top snipers now, are able to really pick up on that, and that's easily punished.
Here's the statue pickup.
Inspects first.
Well, hey, at least we have some mission progress with more than 3 minutes on the clock, so, you know, you like to see that. And it doesn't seem that we picked up a highlight, because I assume our highlights must be for bar.
It doesn't look that way either. I don't know what, I don't think Scout's highlighting here. I know Scout does twin highlights, so that's why we see plain twin highlight there at the statue.
Yeah, that's fair. And of course, the Damon highlight, very important.
Ooh, we have the neutral lit twin picking up our statue, so that might look like a swap call and could attract undeserved suspicion.
Selection target leaves. We're not going to be able to timer flirt, so we're stuck at 51% for CRAMS, who's going to join conversation with the double agent. We saw an early contact from Scout. CRAMS may be thinking about answering back, but a lot of people out of conversation.
Yeah, maybe also setting up to go in for inspect completion, but that's rough to be the first one to finish inspects. Ooh, and this is going to be awfully tempting for CRAMS.
Yeah,
I think we need to pick a highlight for this.
It's a white flirt, so that's not going to be flirt done, but it will be a second flirt, and that will be inspects done at least. We're at Disney. It's not clear if we've really been seen here. Now we are, just barely.
Here's the highlight. I think Scout was looking for that for a bit. It was lasering on Seek. I'm not sure if that was to differentiate a couple of our tuxedoed gentlemen. And that was the only threat highlight in the party. This could be tough to finish for CRAMS, but we've seen stranger things happen.
Yes, we have 90 seconds on the clock and counting. CRAMS again breaking out of conversation and heading, it looks like, to the bar. So this will give us options for sure. And we do kind of need some with this much time on the clock. But even with a purloin, we still have to find a contact. Contact into sending a delegate could be the play here.
Yeah, but we'll see if CRAM's short setup paths will be caught onto here. If they decide to take any more of those. Ooh, and I think that's the double agent leaving conversation there.
Yes, it is. Double agent will head
Into
to
bookshelf, so that's going to be brutal in these last 40 seconds.
You have to fire. Yep, there it goes. There's General Sent, and not on camera really for the sniper, so may not be aware that we did that little delegate trick in conversation.
Yeah, laser was on the left side there, and it did completely conceal the right half of that conversation. Will this take in time, though? There's a bit of a queue in front of General. Double agent may be heading back to a conversation now. CRAM's in position to finish this if this Purloin takes.
C-Rams does find the conversation. Purloin expires!
It expired right when he was going to pick it up. That was very brutal, but we got contact done.
And we're out of time.
Oh! I have the beeps off, so that game ended very immediately.
Yeah, this delegate... Where's the expiration? Here it is.
That might be one of the closest delegates I've ever seen to failing. That wow, that's
thanks for
that's got stuck in a corner. Yeah, that's brutal. Because that might have had a chance of working otherwise, but Scout has an avenue back in. Another chance to pull this back, and the holds continue paying off for Scout.
Yeah, now we're heading into Veranda, so we thought it was difficult to complete on Modern. I mean, let's just see what Scout does first here as Spy. They've had to play from behind this entire set since the very first game, and we're now heading into game 13 with Scout playing as Irish. So let's see if they can keep that mental fortitude in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and this was Scout's Restrict as well, picked by C-Rams, I believe.
Yep, that's absolutely right. And okay, we're
maybe wanting to deny the 5 of 8s. Yeah, this laser is on the right side. This book could have gone into red. It's going now. But C-Rams is doing housekeeping, letting the double agent there. Book is back. Laser lingers to highlight Queen at statues. And dare I say, this is clean.
Oh, path around the ambassador there. That could have been dicey. Scout might think, okay, well, look, I've done so many bugs, they haven't worked for me, I'm not going to do it. But if you take those kinds of paths, you might get credited with them anyways. We're in conversation with the double agent. We've seen an early contact out of Scout before, and Veranda's not necessarily a bad place for it. Hoping the selection target comes in, but she will not. But Twin will, and we have a chance for contact, but it's all falling apart.
Yeah, we might want to wait just to minimize the number of low lights. We're going to chase ST, but we're faster, so that's going to mean some awkward pathing to find the same destination.
Yes, it will, although I'm not sure it's going to matter against C-Rams. C-Rams has not demonstrated a lot of like mechanical etiquette expertise in this set, and if you're watching that back, you may think, well, I'm just going to walk where I want to walk. That's 50% on a green flirt. 2.5 minutes in the game.
Yeah, innocent take. Red or orange dress goes to blue shelf, which I don't think we want to be seen at, just for the avoidance of suspicion.
A lot of attention being paid to Toby's tray. A lot of attention. C-Rams may be looking to see if the list has been taken, because it can be difficult to see on Veranda for sure. Look how long we're staying there. And meanwhile, we get a white time ad. And Scout's thinking, okay, well, you know, if it's good enough for C-Rams, it's good enough for me. But look at this laser just stock still after that time ad. That could be bad news.
Could be, but the time ad was zoomed in. C-Rams was zoomed in on the tray during the time ad, so I think we're in a good position. Unfortunately, Scout isn't able to finish up the flirt there. But we are in with the double agent. We can see around the corner to see that it's not a bad time for contact. Double agent leaves as well, so we might avoid contact credit if C-Rams is paying attention to that.
Looks like one low light taken maybe for that contact, certainly not much more. And our conversation is completely emptied out after it happened. 2 minutes 15 on the clock, and a Scout, yep, we're going to go in for our first inspect.
Yeah, not a bad play. It'll all come down to the second set of statues. We have seen CRM shoot instantly on the second half of a Softail before. Zoom in on Kane for the potential swap there, and we need to finish up Flirt in between our next inspect visit, likely.
Yeah, in addition to that, we still need a 5th mission. A lot of attention has been paid to Trey, so that's not going to feel super good. Scouts had a bunch of good bugs, but they keep getting shots. That may not feel good to them either. That leaves Swap and Fingerprint.
We get some camera shakes out of Scout after either Wheels taking a drink, maybe one of the reject chain, or the ST leaving conversation to pick up this briefcase. This thing is not going the way that Scout wants them to. I'm kind of just idling here thinking of a plan into statues now. Another zoom in on the tray there. We're gonna do our inspects first before finishing up that seduce.
Yeah, I think this makes sense. You can't flirt right now. You obviously don't want to do anything else. You're already a highlight for that first inspect. You felt the laser on you. You may as well complete it. If CRM shoots you, he was going to shoot you anyways. Oh, but we get shot for the talk.
Yeah. There must have been some bug credit behind that, I think, because I think the microphone was clean.
Yeah, there absolutely might have been. Around here.
Yeah, and I think that's the danger of being the only one to finish inspects on 5 of 8 like this. Can make the rest of the party seem much more dead. Not many people are doing inspects, and there's only one person who's finished them.
Alright, well that's going to take us to C-Rams on match point. Has 3 match points to play. Scout has to sweep all 3 to take us to overtime. Now as a reminder, overtime, the initial draft is thrown away. Each player singles a venue. They play 4 games. If it's 2-2, they each single another venue and play 4 games, and then infinite balcony after that. But we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. C-Rams just needs a single win to advance in the challengers bracket of SMC, and it's got to happen here on Veranda, playing as a red dress again. Scout sniping for their life in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Sniper side of Veranda is where you want to be if you have to cling on. But we do
Quick
have
request.
Gallery up to finish. White Purloin to open up.
Scout's looking for it. It should be seen, I think.
The laser's there, but I think we're watching Amba mostly. Now we're taking care of, okay, highlight on the spy. I think a glimpse of this tray has been caught. Scout with 3 minutes 40 to play and their tournament life on the line. I think we'll wait for confirmation on this one.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. We don't need to shoot in the first 30 seconds. It looks like we have our suspects. Hopefully the tray, I think at this point, is well confirmed. And look at these people just gathered around the ambassador. This is so gross.
Yeah, this isn't what you want to see as Scout, throwing potential other suspects in the way. As long as they remain on top of it and calm, this should be a guaranteed win.
Cool statue put down from Boots there, and Scout has not been taking the time to lowlight anyone else. I think, given what we've seen so far, the highlights are the suspects. Everyone else is irrelevant chaff at this point, but if you no longer need to try to sort through the party, there's not necessarily a reason to take the time to do those lowlights at all.
Ambassador does not grace C-Rams with Bug Path. We'll head out after getting our second flirt into statues.
Scout just keeping all of these folks on screen. Here comes the inspect.
Difficult print on this too. That could be big for C-Rams.
Ah, but it's missed. It's missed, and Pearls is down to a neutral light. And I just don't know why you bring Pearls down here. You just don't have that many people to watch. Oh my, sorry.
Yeah, this could be a situation where Scout's pretty confident that it was one of the reddish dresses. So keeping red and orange.
Yeah,
Boots has been fairly active in this too. We should keep an eye on Boots. She's been to statues. She's been near Amba at bookshelves. Now she's returning a briefcase.
C-Rams in the
She's
meantime.
finishing. Yeah, and red dress at this green shelf is not getting a lot of attention, but that could be very deliberate by Scout. Letting this microfilm go clean to bait C-Rams into an easy death. Double Legion leaving here, I think, is a blessing in disguise for C-Rams, because we want Boots in for this. Oh, and she's going to be knocked out by this contact.
Banana bread.
Yes, she will. Scout's happy about that. Immediate low light. We do keep Sorry.
Unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately for Scout, that doesn't look good. There's a reverse bug. Scout is unhappy about that and knows that this could have happened. And there's a very visible no talk from the two highlights.
Yeah, but at this point, you don't care. If you're in conversation with Sorry, that's the only thing that matters to you right now is C-Rams. He's made that very clear. Quick talk in that conversation.
4 missions done. This is getting a bit close for comfort. But Scout holds on.
I think given everything that Scout has seen so far in this set, even when they're on their tournament life, C-Rams has been playing so slow. Here comes, this could be the moment of, what are we doing? Oh, we're not returning
This
yet.
is another short setup path. Only 20 seconds left. BB to cover. Sorry's sipping during that. We're slamming the book. Oh no, this could be a dance. But I think Scout's lining it up.
Where's the shot?
No,
We need this
Scout
for our
isn't lining it
no,
up.
no shot. And that's going to be C-Rams taking the match on the Spy side of Veranda.
Wow, I really thought Scout was lining up the shot there to hold on. But yeah, as you predicted exactly, 9-5 in C-Ram's favor.
Yeah, and what a final game to have to end things on with all of these, like, super high value and finishing suspects running around. I mean, that's a rough Veranda game, even with that very early Purloin catch.
Yeah, that bug that C-Rams got was really nice, really well timed. And Scout was aware of it, but I think just too many things slipped under the radar. Maybe not as confident on that Purloin as we thought.
All right, well, that is our set. And that means, of course, that C-Rams will be moving on to the finals of the Challenger bracket. We'll be playing against Sauerkraut next week. So, of course, congratulations to C-Rams. Good games to both Scout and C-Rams for a great set. That means that all that's left for round 1 of Challengers is Lev versus Grosh, which is happening tomorrow. It's happening in just about 14 and a half hours. We'll be back here with that. So, of course, once again, great games to both players, Scout and C-Rams. Congrats, C-Rams, on the win. Look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you, of course, Ligor, for casting with me.
Of course, thanks for having me.
And Opie writes, thanks so much for walking us through everything on the analyst desk.
Of course, it's been a pleasure.
We are going to wrap up for tonight. It's been a late night for us here in North America, but we will see you back here on the same channel for Lev versus Grosh and the final live match of SMC Week 1 tomorrow. Everybody take care, and we'll see you here next time.